Thank you so much. Thank you. This is not a joint, and this is not a woolly or a coolie or a blunt. No, this is an actual cigar, which I blow to my orishas. As my altar is right there, as you know. Let me show you. You see, and the candles are lit. You know, I always got my altar. So you know, so this isn't what that is. Okay, this is part of my voodoo. Okay, Um, today we are going to talk. Oh, someone asked me where was my margarita. Here it is. And, and I am making a mistake every time. It is not a margarita, it's a martini. I had an apple martini, a cranberry martini, um, watermelon martini. These are martinis, and these are martini glasses. Sometimes, I get a little toast and I forget to differentiate between the two because they kind of almost taste the same, except that a martini is far more stronger, you know. Okay, today we are going to talk about incompatibility of signs. I haven't done one of those in a while. So I'm going to do one today. Okay? The compatibility of signs will be, of course, Cancer and Aquarius, cardinal water and fixed air. We have here a elemental square. We have a cardinal modality and a fixed. That also doesn't always work very well. Cardinal is too active and too ambitious, and fixed is just, well, the word says it, fixed, set in their ways. And what sign is more arrogantly set in their ways than Aquarius? Topping Leo, second. And of course, number one is Taurus, known for its stubbornness. And then the least one is Scorpio. But the Scorpio energy, it's so intense that few people dare to tread there. So we are left with really the other three, which are far more manageable out of the four fixed signs. The other three, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo, are far more manageable than Scorpio. You're really not going to get anywhere with Scorpio unless Scorpio wants to allow you to get anywhere with him or her. So we got to discount that. Okay. So Taurus being the most stubborn, Taurus being the most stubborn, Leo being second, and Aquarius being third. But it's almost like he's second because the opposite polarity of Aquarius is Leo. So, and then we have Cancer. Cancer represents these flowers, the different arrange, the different types of flowers. There are flowers here, and there are also roses here. Okay, and then you got these little things there that accompany every rose bush. This is very Cancer. The red rose is Aries. Each plant, each flower represents an astrological sign, so you'll know, and that's why I have it here as well. It is to stress that principle. Okay, and Cancer represents this lovely arrangement of flowers and roses and other species of plant genus that is in this bouquet. Okay, in this vase. So, how can something so beautiful, so vulnerable and delicate and short-lived, because flowers don't live forever once you cut them and put them in water. They don't live forever either in the open nature, because when winter sets in, they die until the next cycle when they resprout again in Aries in the spring. So they're not long lasting, which is why they're so beautiful, they're so expensive, and so widely appreciated. Because it is a beauty of nature that is not always constant. So we gotta appreciate. We have to appreciate the little things. Oh look, lilacs. I didn't even see that. I like lilacs. So how can this combination work? How can this combination work? You got cardinal water and fixed air. What can we attribute this to nature? And by the way, because we have an elemental square and we have a modality incompatibility, and it's why we consider this incompatibility of signs. The moon in Sagittarius is very opinionated and very combative. Okay? Jupiter, however, the ruler of Sagittarius, is exalted in Cancer. It's exalted in Cancer. So there is a propensity for this combination to work. There is. But first, we have to kind of figure out where can we connect this to nature. Sagittarius represents the moving tectonic plates of the earth. Even though we can normally attribute that to Taurus, we're talking about the formation of island continents, which again deals with water and fire. As the magma hits the salt water of the ocean, it creates island continents as it floats up into the surface. I'm not going to bore you with the actual physics and chemistry behind that kind of primordial soup, which gives rise to these continents just by the contact of salt water and magma. I'll let the material scientists handle that. But understand that we're still dealing with elemental forces of nature. And it's because we are made in her dust. We are made in her cloak. This nature combination has to be found somewhere in nature, this combination. And by studying nature in the context of looking at this specific combination, like I've done with all the other combinations in which I ascribe it to nature, it makes it more palatable, and it makes it more, more palatable. You can make an association and a correlation and understand that the ferocity and also the beauty of nature is as inherent in ourselves as it is in the earth and the rest of the cosmos. So, having said that, how can we, or where can we find on the planet this combination? Again, let's go back to the ocean. Cardinal water, Cancer. Remember what I mentioned. I feel like I'm teaching the class. Oh God. I mentioned that anything that's cardinal is active. The active signs of the zodiac. The movers and shakers of the zodiac. Aries. And the opposite polarity. Polarity. Libra. Aries is the beginning of everything. And Libra is the balancing of cosmic forces and rest, in which then nature can spring forward. And then we have Cancer, the longest day of the year, and Capricorn, the winter, opposite the summer of Cancer, the shortest day of the year. These are powerful cardinal signs which shape the actual time clock and time frame of the movement of the heavens. This is determined by the cardinal signs. So Cancer, which is probably the most vulnerable, but the most powerful of the cardinal signs, um, gives shape to what becomes later continents and islands and the very earth that now we are able to stand in our feet. Darwinism states that life began in the water. The animal made it to land, and then man became into existence. But what Darwin fails to mention is that From the water came land. From the water and the eruption of the tectonic plates gave eruption to land. That was mother giving birth to her children, which were the island continents and later the continents and islands that we observe today. So when she did that, Gaia, our mother earth, then all other species came on land, but she created the land first. We all forget to mention that. This is the power of Cancer, the cardinality of Cancer. She is a nurturer and she's a birther. She births. I don't care if this is a baby or if this is a company or a corporation or the birth of a nation. I understand the importance of that cardinality in Cancer. Okay, so then what would be Aquarius? Aquarius would define the coral reefs and the different marine life that begins to develop around the regions of where these volcanic vents erupt these magma in which these continents and islands are eventually formed. There's a lot of marine life that live in surrounding vents of volcanoes that you don't find anywhere else on the planet. These are rare coral reefs, rare species that have yet to be categorized or cataloged by science to this day. That's Aquarius. Remember, Aquarius rules the unique and the different and otherworldly. And trust me, when you go into the depths of the ocean, which is the domain of Cancer, you can find some real life forms down there that will have never have captured your imagination. Oh, it's deep. It's deep. Just look at a course at a National Geographic or the Discovery Channel or Channel 13 Nova or one of those nature channels. You know, or you can even order it on YouTube or on demand now because they got all them kind of shows. You should really take an investment since you're paying for cable or satellite TV. Treat yourself to some of these educational programs. You'll be surprised what you learn. Nature and man is one and the same. So just like you see this uniqueness of species. Oh, another example that I can ascribe to this combination would be Madagascar. What did I mention to you about Madagascar in my other videos? Madagascar is in South America. It's another separate, ecosystem where you find plants and animals and insect species that you don't find anywhere else on the planet. That right there is Aquarius. It's on land, so we'll have to say Taurus and Aquarius instead of Taurus and Cancer. So this combination exists on land as well as it does on water. On water, it's Aquarius and Cancer. But if it's on land, it's Aquarius and Taurus. And we're going to talk about Taurus and Aquarius soon enough. So, there's a fascinating uniqueness to this combination. Aquarius and Cancer is a very rare combination, but it's one that is almost ethereal, cosmic. Even with Cancer, you have to understand that Cancer is the eternal feminine. Cancer represents the feminine mystique, the mysteries of the phases of the moon. No. The Aquarian man is at a loss if we're going to talk about the Aquarian man and the Cancer woman. It's a different story if we flip it. But let's start there with the Cancer woman and the Aquarian man. The Cancer woman is an unattainable dream to Mr. Cancer, to Mr. Aquarius. Because as attracted as she might be to this man, and she will be attracted to this man, how sexy can she do than Aquarius or Aries or one of those alpha types? But a man like that, for a Cancer woman, if we're dealing with the typical archetype Cancer woman, she would probably, she'd rather masturbate about a man like that than actually get involved with one. Because, and I have to say that no Cancer woman will ever admit that, but as an astrologer, I can get away with it. Because you have to understand that the Cancer woman is looking for emotional security, emotional safety. She's looking for a partner that she can trust. She's gonna know immediately, automatically. I don't care how much her loins may pulsate for this man. She's gonna know her emotional intelligence, her intuitive intelligence is gonna let her know that this man might not be it, that he'll hurt her. Whether he does it through his own ignorance, youth, or through intentions. And she doesn't want to be vulnerable in this way. The Cancer woman is difficult to approach. She really has to invite you in. She can give you a vibe that she don't want you near her. Stay away. If she wants to invite you, she will throw the signals and the cues that will allow you to know that she wants you to get closer. But if you don't feel that from her, don't get close. Just like the crab, it might cut your finger off. Even when the crab is dead, if you put your finger on the crab, it will cling it. And it'll have to be pried open. I mentioned that in my Cancer videos about the Cancer woman. So understand the tenacity and resilient nature that this woman possesses. And one, not being hurt. Two, not being taken for granted. And three, demanding her due. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. So then, hold on 1 second. 1 second. Something is wrong with the controlling of the microphone. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, guys. I told a little fib. I did, and I felt guilty. I actually wanted to re-up my, my watermelon martini. Sorry about that. I had to do that. Okay. So we're dealing with nature. We're dealing with the uniqueness of this combination and how we can ascribe it to nature. Okay, so that means that the uniqueness of this combination has to be over the top. And this uniqueness is going to be strongly felt when you're young, below age 30, your teen or 20s, and then it can just grow and evolve. You have to understand that the Cancer woman will be more than willing to tolerate the inconsistencies of Sagittarius. The Cancer woman knows how to get to the Aquarian man because since she knows that this is a fundamental um, barrier, is the emotions with the Aquarian man. That's the area where she will begin to work her magic and getting at the Aquarian man. It's still considered though an incompatibility of sign, because even though as sincere and as grateful as the Aquarian woman is and wants to be, I mean the Cancer woman is who wants to be, you know, and well, even the Aquarian man, even as grateful, let's say if we're going positive, even as grateful as he is, and having a woman with so much emotional depth and caring and nurturing, that doesn't mean that he's gonna know how to respond to it. That doesn't mean that he's gonna know how to react to it or even how to treat it. He might not even know how to even appreciate it if it's something that's outside of his field bed. If it's something that is outside of his experience, he might not know how to reciprocate that. Because with the Cancer woman, there has to be a certain emotional reciprocity that comes from a partner. And this is exactly the problem and the issue with the Aquarian man. Is that it might not even be that he deliberately is doing this. He just might not intrinsically know how to address or handle someone else's emotions, let alone articulate his own. And this can cause a great disappointment towards the Cancer woman. The level of security and the level of commitment that the Cancer woman seeks is questionable if the Aquarian man can meet it, if he can match it. Because if he cannot, then he should leave this woman alone. I mean, really. Ooh. Yeah, that was my last sip. I have to dilute the bitch. That was too strong. Ooh. Anyway, no. For the meeting of the minds with this combination, the Aquarian man has to decide that this woman is the long-term investment that will allow him to establish for the first time. It might be the second time or third time, but doesn't matter how many times. With the if this man has been looking for an emotional connection or for some kind of relationship that matches his ideal, because remember the opposite polarity of Aquarius is Leo, and Leo is the hopeless romantic. So don't believe the hype about Aquarius not being that emotionally or romantically inclined. He is. It's just that he doesn't know how to control it or shield himself from the uncertainties that the emotions can bestow upon a person. And it's like a ship in the ocean with no rudder. You know, and Aquarius wants consummate control. Remember, it's a fixed sign. All fixed signs want a certain amount of control. Aquarius is no different. The problem is that you cannot obtain emotional happiness that way. I don't care how intellectual you are and how much you think that the intellect has the answer for everything. Not everything, Mr. Aquarius. And I'm talking to you directly. The Aquarian woman knows this. The Aquarian man, either he's too ignorant or too stubborn to accept the reality that there are just certain things in life that cannot be completely under human control, especially a human control of one's own soul. You know, and depending on the level of maturity of the Aquarian man, because but then again, that's also a misnomer, because in reality, whether you're young, middle age, your prime, or old age, the Aquarian mindset truly doesn't change beyond its paradigm of freedom at all costs and all the time, and that anything is expendable to it, including people and relationships. And that makes it a bad combination for Miss Cancer, who could be bamboozled by this man and be completely crushed or even destroyed by the emotional indifference of this type of man. So for there to be a connection, there has to be plenty more than just glitter and aloha. And we're done with part one.